don't stick your tongue in an electrical outlet. Brenda?
Thanks, Robert, for that valuable information. And now we join Lisa Lang with famous cellist Jacqueline Marie Dupree.
I'm here with the famous Jacqueline Dupree at her house. So, Jacqueline, what hemisphere do you predict is most active while playing your cello?
Normally, music is believed to be in your right hemisphere because it's an artistic thing. However, because a lot of music deals with mathy subjects, the act of reading music is processed in both hemispheres.
Great, so this leads me to my next question. What part of your brain is mostly active in processing this information, the sensory input of the music?
Your prefrontal cortex,
Okay.
right up here.
Nice. So I read this morning in Music People magazine that music helps people remember things, kind of facilitating the memory aspect. Can you explain that?
It does. A lot of people's brains, like the auditory input, will help consolidate short-term memory into long-term memory, which is why they suggest to listen to music when studying. However, you have to listen to non-distracting music because then the whole process is just canceled.
Okay. So music and emotions are very much related. What part of the brain is associated with this?
Your amygdala.
Cool. Well, that was our great interview with Jacqueline Dupree, and it was a pleasure having you with us today in the Nightly News. Tune in for the next channel. Let's take a look. We're here at her house, and she's playing her favorite song. Jacqueline, let's go.
Thank you, Lisa Lang, for that amazing interview. I'm Brenda.
And I'm Robert. Thank you for tuning in for the Nightly News.
Cerebellum left, cerebellum right, synapse, hypothalamus, striatum dendrite.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to The Creative Mind, a program that delves deeply into the brain science of our creative potential. We are joined today by the reclusive and controversial Dr. Wayne.
It's great to be here. Creativity is a highly complex psychological construct that we all possess to a certain extent.
It is the ability of the brain to think divergently, innovatively, possessing high levels of specialized knowledge. Creativity is linked with a heightened density of white matter pathways and a heightened interconnectivity between brain structures.
Creativity is also linked with the thicker corpus callosum, which is a white matter pathway that connects the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere.
Creativity is linked with the bilateral activation of the prefrontal cortex on both the left and right side hemispheres, which is unusual because in most individuals it's concentrated on one side or the other. The prefrontal cortex controls deliberate and conscious thought.
The right superior temporal gyrus is linked to moments of intense creative epiphanies, also known as eureka moments.
What's important to remember is that there is no one specific structure in the brain devoted to creativity. It is a network of neural structures that contribute to this phenomenon. Heightened creativity has also been shown in activation of the right parietal lobe, which handles sensory integration. This may give the creative individual a heightened sense of the world around them, a heightened perspective. Another phenomenon that is associated with creativity is a decreased density of dopamine receptors within the brain. This has also been shown in individuals who report high levels of spiritual transcendence or spirituality. The decreased density of dopamine receptors may also leave them more prone to psychiatric disorders or mood disorders, such as anxiety or depression or manic depression. Usually, there also is a cyclical activation of the prefrontal cortex in conditions such as ADHD and schizophrenia. During portions of reduced prefrontal activation, there is usually a surge of creativity. Conditions such as manic depression and bipolar disorder are highly correlated with creativity. Typically, there is an incubation period or a depressive state, followed by a manic or euphoric creative surge where the individual will produce massive amounts of creative work. What is critical to remember is that the fine arts do not monopolize creativity. The greatest discoveries in history, scientific discoveries, were made by highly creative individuals such as Charles Darwin, Albert Einstein, Leonardo da Vinci, who is a prime example of maximizing creativity within ourselves. I am Dr. Cornelia von Buren.
The brain! That ought to keep the little squirts happy. Yeah!
Who am